Wednesday, June 26, 2019, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. This morning I want to talk about cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin and precious metals and gold, what I think about both. Many comments I get is, gold is not doing anything. Have a look at Bitcoin. And I do look at Bitcoin, and I do look at cryptocurrencies. As you can see, the header for my channel says Maneco 64, markets, precious metals, Bitcoin, economics, and geopolitics. So this banner was made back in early 2016. I started making my videos November 2015. So I was covering cryptocurrencies then. I have been involved with Bitcoin since 2013. I used to trade Bitcoin and altcoins back then. I stopped for a while, but I've always been following it. I did accumulate some Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in the last, since the collapse in Bitcoin in late 2017, 2018. I've held on to it and I've done well. I have also been accumulating precious metals since 2002, gold and silver. And so what is the main difference for me between, let's say, Bitcoin and gold? Well, there's a few factors. Precious metals, gold and silver, have a track record going back thousands of years. Cryptocurrency, and specifically Bitcoin, go back 10 years. I think it was 2009 that the Satoshi Nakamoto white paper came out and people started coding and or mining for Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? What are cryptocurrencies? Well, there are a lot of better people to explain that to you, but in my view, from what I've read over the years, from what I've listened from other people, because my background is financial markets, trading, economics. I'm not an IT guy. I'm not a coder or a programmer. But basically, Bitcoin and the white paper for Bitcoin try to solve the problem of centralization. It sprung up, of course, after the '08 crisis. The symptoms of our rotten monetary system and central banking. And basically, it's a mathematical equation that you have to solve, and you need a lot of computer power to do it. They call it mining. And then the more Bitcoins that are mined, the harder it gets to mine the Bitcoins. And there's a 21 million Bitcoin limit. That's it, 21 million. I think right now 16 million, maybe a little more, have been mined. And it's going to take a very, very long time to mine the last 5 million or so. And so Bitcoin, like physical gold, is, how can I say, rare and difficult to come by. So Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever he is, or she was or is, was trying to replicate physical gold in the digital world. So it's all good, in my opinion. And what about the other altcoins? All the other altcoins developed from Bitcoin. They are derivatives of Bitcoin, so to speak. They've got the same kind of store of value properties, decentralization, mining. Some have different kind of mining. Some are proof of stake, which doesn't require mining. Some people argue it's not as decentralized. Basically, for example, Ethereum is like, it's not Bitcoin, of course, but it allows you to transfer wealth like Bitcoin in a decentralized fashion, but it allows you also to write applications on top of it. So that's why you get the apps, right? To write a smart contract on it. And that's what the altcoins are. So Some people argue Litecoin is like the silver, of precious metals and things like that. So that's my first thing is I prefer, not that I prefer, but I think the cryptocurrencies have a future, very speculative. Gold and silver have a future and they have a proven track record. That's my vote for precious metals. The other thing about that's I favor precious metals in terms of cryptocurrencies is that I can hold my precious metals. So here I've got 2.12 kilos silver bar. That's 65 ounces. My Bitcoin is in my digital wallet. I can never hold it, but I can hold this and carry it around. So there's no counterparty risk there. I know my wallet is supposed to be private, but you're still dependent on many things. And I know that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, if you have your private key, you will always have them. And of course, just like gold, it can be hacked, so to speak. If you leave gold in a bank or in a bank deposit, they can confiscate it. The same thing with cryptocurrencies. If you take it out of your private wallet and you put it in an exchange, it has been known to have been confiscated or stolen. But that's one thing that I prefer about precious metals. You can hold your silver bar, you can hold your gold coin. And don't get me wrong, I've got quite a bit of, my holding of Bitcoin is not the biggest in my cryptocurrency like portfolio. I have EOS as well and some of the tokens that have come along with EOS. But precious metals still for me, makes me, gives me peace of mind because I know I can hold it. You don't know what's going to happen to the, if there's a crisis, if you're going to be able to use your Bitcoin. I'm not saying that if the internet goes down, your Bitcoin is going to disappear, because it's not. Because like I said, it's always going to be a mathematical equation. It's like a human construct, and if you have your private key, when things come back up, you can use it. But that's the problem. You see in the ETHEREUM there, if there are big problems, you can't use your Bitcoin. But with precious metals, you can. You can go to a farmer, and trade this for whatever you need from the farmer. I'm sure a farmer would accept silver or gold. But if you go and say, oh, I've got, here's my private key, I've got a Bitcoin, can't give it to you right now. Will he take it? I don't know. Probably not. What's the other factor that makes me trust precious metals more? Well, the fact that cryptocurrencies are a human invention makes me trust precious metals more. I trust nature more than human nature, nature in general. So I trust more something that comes out of the earth, like gold and silver, than something that was developed by humans. That's the other thing. And don't get me wrong, I think it's a good speculative way to make money, cryptocurrencies, and I'm doing it right now. I was just looking at my wallet. I got some Bitcoin like months ago, last year, and my blockchain.info wallet says, this is how much it's worth now, and this is how much it was when you got it, and it's more than double. So it's doing great. Of course, gold hasn't doubled. Gold, in the last year. But it has gone up about 40%, since the beginning of 2016. So that's not bad. But then again, it's the peace of mind. So hopefully that answers questions to my viewers about my feelings about precious metals and cryptocurrencies. I'm open-minded. I'm not one of those who says, like Peter Schiff, even though I agree with a lot of what Peter Schiff says. He says, oh, Bitcoin is going to zero. It's a fraud. No, I have an open mind, and that's why I have cryptocurrencies. But I'm still a traditionalist. I look at the 1,000 year plus, well, 4 or 5 thousand year track record for precious metals from maintaining purchasing power, and I prefer that to the 10-year track record of cryptocurrencies. So I've noticed lately, of course, I'm watching cryptocurrencies just because I haven't been talking about them too much. Doesn't mean I don't watch it. I know Bitcoin is right now 12,700. It's been as high as 12,900. The low was 3,000 in the past 18 months or so. So it has gone up, a few fold. One thing I'm noticing though, with the altcoins is that right now Bitcoin is leading the way, and a little bit like gold leading the way and silver not moving much. So that's one thing I've noticed. So I think there's room for the altcoins to catch up. And what does that mean, that Bitcoin is outperforming? I think it means that we could have new entrants into the crypto space. People who haven't done, maybe their homework about what altcoins are and what applications are, and I've done that back in 2017. If you look at my videos from them, I did a lot of, videos for projects that were starting up in cryptocurrencies. I did, read through all the white papers, so I have an idea of what it's all about. So I think it's new entrants. They say, oh, we're going to get into cryptocurrency. Let's buy Bitcoin. They don't know about Ethereum, LITECOIN, EOS, Bitcoin Cash, Neo, and all those. So they're just going into Bitcoin. But I think the altcoins will catch up. And basically, the altcoins are just derivations of Bitcoin, kind of. They allow people to transfer not only wealth, but to put applications and smart contracts on top of Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't do that. So what about the markets? I'll quickly go through the markets. What they're doing this morning is just going 8 o'clock a.m. London time. Gold has corrected down this morning. We're down over 1%. I'm not surprised. Gold has gone up very quickly since we broke 1375. Went up to almost 1440 yesterday. Right now, 1406.50, down about $17. Am I concerned? No. You look at Bitcoin, it's been going up and down as well. I know lately it's been only going up, but you do get volatility. And as I said, technically, when you get a breakout like the 1375 breakout, which was the high for the last 4, 5, 6 years or thereabouts, you sometimes get a pullback to retest that level. So I wouldn't be surprised that if we still go back to 1375. But I'm still, of course, as a trading instrument, gold is very difficult. You have to keep an eye on it 24/7. But I'm still a stacker, and it's still, I still think it's going to protect you, especially in the world that we're in, where there's geopolitical tension, of course, but most importantly, the fact that central bankers are going to keep inflating the system. They have no way out, right? Silver is dropped about just under 1%. It's at 1521. The Dow is up only 7 points. The stock market is virtually unchanged. Yesterday wasn't a great day for the stock markets. The Dow was down 180. S&P was down 1%, NASDAQ was down 1.5%, and that was in spite of the fact that Jay Powell, the chairman of the Fed, said that risks to global growth have risen, according to the FT, and it's reinforced the market's expectation that they're going to cut in July by 25 basis points. Some in the market were expecting a 50 basis points cut in July, but Bullard from the St. Louis Fed, who's an Uber dove, actually said that he doesn't think it was going to be 50. I think he spoke yesterday. He said it's probably going to be more like 25. And maybe that's why the market didn't do as well. They were expecting a bit more. So the stock market's not doing great. In the currency market, we see a pound down 20 pips or 0.2%, 126.70. I think Boris Johnson said that Brexit is going to be do or die, and he's going to get out by the 31st of October with a deal or with no deal. The euro is at 113.59, down nominally. Dollar is a little stronger against the yen, 107.40, up 0.25%. Dollar is unchanged against the Chinese currency at 688. Crude oil has moved quite a bit overnight. There was a story here about crude oil. Zero Hedge reported yesterday WTI spikes after biggest crude draw since March. So aside from the Iranian tensions, we've got this as well. So WTI is up 120 cents or 2% at 59.04. It has, we're near the highs. Brent as well is up 105 cents or 1.6% at 65.34. Bond markets continue, yields are still depressed, which means bond prices are going up, which means, investors are concerned. So they buy treasuries, supposedly safe haven. 10-year yield is still stuck around 2%. There you go. Bitcoin and precious metals or cryptocurrencies and gold. And that's my view. I'm not anti-cryptocurrency. I actually think it's a great idea. But my conclusion is that have a bit of both. Have a bit of both. When Bitcoin dropped from almost 20,000 to 3,000, gold actually was very steady, held its value. So if you only had Bitcoin then and you had no gold, you'd feel a bit naked, I would say. So it's a good mix, and it's up to you to decide. Do your homework about cryptocurrencies and precious metals. It's up to you to decide what proportion of your savings you want to have in each. Not for me to decide. That's what I always try to tell people. Do your homework. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Twitter, Steemit, and on DTube. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.